And we are live. Welcome back to Sports Scrutiny Live. We are in here, episode 18. We're back.
Yeah, we deep now. We deep now. I think we're
Yeah, man.
like six months in now, I think, or something like that.
It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while since we've been trying to knock this thing out, man. Trying to bring y'all the latest. But we don't. There's really not that much going on, right, Rob?
Nah, there ain't a lot going on. I mean, we just got done with the uh NBA All Star Week. That was fun to watch. The dunk contest, and then you had the
Yeah,
All Star game.
yeah.
The All
That
Star
was
game was actually really, really fun to watch compared to the past few years. Came right down to the very last second, and they swarmed Steph Curry right at the end. He couldn't do nothing, and LeBron's team came out with the W. It was fun to watch. I enjoyed the
yeah.
game.
It was pretty fun. The dunk contest was nice too, man. The guy with the I forgot who it was that put on the Black Panther mask and missed the shot.
Oh, oh yeah. See,
Missed the dunk.
I, I haven't been. I was never really into the dunk contest. I like the 3-point shootout and
Yeah, me
the
too.
All Star game. I never really got into the dunk contest because I feel like it's like people aren't that creative no more.
Like
It's already been done.
it's not as interesting to
There's not.
watch.
It's like there's only so many things the human body can do while jumping in the air, and people have already done it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
It's like it's getting to the point where people are just doing tributes to other people's dunks.
yeah,
Like they're either gonna tribute Vince Carter, they're either gonna tribute Michael Jordan, they're either gonna tribute Josh Smith, something that's already been done.
yeah.
I mean, occasionally you'll come out with something that's new, like a double bounce off the backboard, reverse pump, dunk,
Right.
something like that, crazy. But it ain't. I ain't
It
gonna
ain't
watch
nothing.
a whole
It ain't
dunk
nothing.
contest.
It ain't nothing MJ ain't done already, man.
Yeah, MJ or Vince Carter, one of
It's
the two
Carter.
already did
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. Somebody's done it already. So I mean, but it's still kind of it's still entertaining to watch though. Just to see these guys win it. It just feels like to me like it doesn't mean as much as it used to. Like now everybody can put on a
Yeah,
flash
you're right.
film. You know what I'm saying?
It's not as significant. Plus, I don't. I could be wrong, but I don't think I ever seen LeBron James compete in a dunk contest.
Well,
Could be
not that you
wrong.
say that. I don't think I've seen him either.
I wish he would have at least sometime in his career. I mean, if he
Kyle,
wants, if
Kyle in our live chat says let them use trampolines, slam ball style.
yeah, it could make the whole floor like put like 5 or 6 trampolines or something. Then see some real. Then we'll see some real entertainment.
What's up, Dan Christian? Dan's in there keeping it live. Thanks, guys, for watching. Thanks for all our new subscribers too. We got a lot of new subscribers come in. Hopefully we get to see those numbers, those views go up. Appreciate you guys joining with us.
Yeah, we need to get the views and go up and hit that like button if you guys are enjoying the show.
Oh yeah. So let's just jump right into it, Rob. Let's just jump right into it. We don't really
I
have.
wanna know our girl got signed to the UFC.
Yeah, man. Leah Lesson. You guys remember our faithful watchers? A few episodes back, we interviewed. We finally got the interview with Leah Lesson. So that's like a huge thing that she finally got signed to the UFC. But the question is, let's see, Dominic and Carter top 3. Yeah, I agree, Dan. That's right. That's right, man. Especially Vince Carter. Vince Carter is dope. But so Leah Lesson is signed to the UFC. So we know we'll probably get that second interview after she goes in there and whoops some tail. But the thing is, she doesn't quite know yet. I mean, Rob, let me ask you this: how can you sign somebody even though she fights featherweight and bantamweight? I think she might be, in her mind, she might be a little bit more comfortable in bantamweight. I think she is more comfortable fighting the bantamweight because that's what she started fighting at. But to me, I see Leah Lesson as a featherweight because the fight that she got noticed for was a featherweight fight. So I think she, you know what I'm saying, like her body, like her statue, like her physicality is more built for featherweight. I think she could take a hit and I know she can give a hit. So, I think she should really move into the featherweight division. I think that's kind of what Dana White is going to put her in, because that featherweight needs to be built. We don't need anybody else for the bantamweight. I mean, bantamweight's already stacked full. Featherweight is what they should be focusing on. So she signed, no opponent yet. But there's of course the MMA fans around the world, all our fellow YouTube podcasters. Everybody's been talking about who Leah Letson should fight.
Who do you think she should fight?
What I think she shouldn't do is I don't think she should go. I don't think they should throw her to the wolves right away, as in like put her in there with Cyborg, whoever. If Cyborg beats Kunitskaya, put her in there with Cyborg. That's not probably not the best thing to do for Leah. I think Leah needs some tune-up fights, some warm-up fights. It's been a while since she fought. She had another fight. She had a couple of fights booked. She had another fight booked in another organization for a championship fight, and I guess that kind of went away when the UFC called, and then she was scheduled to fight Yana Kunitskaya in featherweight, and that would have been the first featherweight non-title fight in the UFC for women, and that got scrapped when they announced Yana is fighting Cyborg for the title. So I think that, but she still got signed. A good first fight for Letson, if she's fighting in featherweight, I would like to see maybe if they take Cyborg away from Megan Anderson and stop saying, it's inevitable for Megan Anderson to fight Cyborg. I think if they schedule a fight or offer a fight with Leah Letson against Megan Anderson, I think Megan would be more inclined to take that fight, because that's more of like a not no disrespect to Letson, but that's more of like a winnable fight for Megan Anderson. Even though Megan Anderson versus Cyborg, I'm definitely going for Megan Anderson because I like Megan Anderson.
Yeah, you're going for the loser. I get you.
No, I'm not going for the loser, man, but I'm going for Megan Anderson because I like me, and I follow Megan ever since her Invicta debut. So I like her, but I think that Megan would be more inclined to take a fight with Letson because, like I said, it's a slightly more winnable fight for her, and they both need a tune-up fight before they jump into it, because it's inevitable. It's inevitable for both of them to have to fight Cyborg if they're going to blaze through that featherweight division when they do create that division. I mean, it's going to be inevitable. They're going to have to fight. They're going to have to fight Leah. They're going to have to fight Cyborg.
I think Leah Letson should fight Holly Holm.
Wait a minute. Live chat is saying my audio is bad. Can you guys hear me? Can everybody hear me? Is it bad or is it good? Because if it's bad, I can fix it. Might tell.
I don't hear bad audio.
Well, our live chatters are saying that I am giving off a bad audio. Let me try and fix that. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see here. Yeah, people are saying my mic is skipping. I know. I hear you.
Maybe it's the plug. You gotta fix the plug.
Well,
into the computer's probably loose.
Hold on, y'all.
Anyways, I was saying I think
Wait a minute. All right. What about now? Can y'all hear me now?
Dude, that's worse. Wait,
what about now?
Why are you on the call twice? No, that's
because I have to open it.
That's way worse. Way worse. You got 2 echoes.
All right. Hold on.
I don't think you're echoing no more. I don't hear it.
I ain't said nothing.
I know, but I can hear noise in the back.
Hold on.
Did you mute one?
Yeah, I just muted one. So what about now? Can y'all?
Nah, that's good. That's perfect.
All right. Okay. All right. So I was saying, y'all, I'm sorry. Now, what were you saying? You like to see Lexa
I'd
fight
like to
who?
see Holly Holm.
Woo.
I'd like
That's
to see her
that's
fight
a
Holly Holm.
well. That's the thing though, because Holly said, according to Holly, Holly wants to stay in the featherweight division. Holly wants a rematch with Cyborg.
Exactly. I know. I know she said that. That's why I'm saying she needs to fight the. It's like the veteran who just got beat needs to fight the newcomer.
The newcomer.
That
Okay.
way, it would pass almost a mantle, almost not passing the torch because that's still Cyborg's thing, but passing a mantle in a way where if Leah Letson does beat Holly Holm, then Holly
That'll
Holm
be
is
huge.
basically gone.
Be a huge win for Letson.
I
That'd be
wouldn't say she's gone, but Holly Holm is basically out of the picture for a while.
if she loses to Letson. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because I think Letson would beat her.
See, the thing about Leah Letson, and if you follow her, if you guys follow her on social media, you'll see that she posts a lot of training videos, and she's working a lot on speed. She's working a lot on her speed because Leah Lessons, she's a big girl. She's not a small girl. So that's another reason why I say that she should be in the featherweight division because she's a big girl. She's a big, tough girl. She's not quite as big as someone like Anderson or as big as Home, but she's a big girl.
Yeah, but those
I would,
those girls are tall.
yeah, yeah, those girls are tall girls. Yeah, with it'd be a good fight, and Letson has a really good ground game, which everyone knows that's Holly's weakness.
Yeah,
So I mean, and Letson has power. I would even put Letson's power as up there with, I would say, ah, I wouldn't say she's got that much power. I would say she's got really good kicks. Letson has really really good kicks. But someone like Holly, I think it should be more like Megan fight Letson. As far as Holly, I think it should be someone else fighting Holly, which they may make that fight with Letson versus Holly, and it would be a good fight. I would say that Holly, if it stays on the feet, Holly would probably outstrike Letson as far as like a point style fighting because Holly has a tend to be. Uh-oh, can y'all still hear me?
yeah,
Letson has a tendency to Holly has a tendency to be very robotic with her stand up. It's very predictable, but she's very fast. And unless Letson could land a powerful shot, it's going to be kind of hard for her to. I would say it would be hard. She'd have to learn how to get through the defense and the offense of Holly Holm. She has really good takedown defense. She's not. I mean, you don't really see Holly take people down too much. But if you look at some of Letson's early fights before Invicta, I mean, she's had some time on the ground. So, it's either way. With that fight, it's either way. But as far as Kunitskaya versus Cyborg, um, to me, and I know y'all probably think I'm a Cyborg hater. I'm not a Cyborg hater. I'm really not a Cyborg hater, but they are putting Cyborg against some worthy opponents. And I said this last week when we were live with Jeremy. They're putting worthy opponents in front of Cyborg. They're putting girls who Cyborg could beat in front of
yeah.
her.
But this the thing, bro.
Hold on, I meant to say girls that could beat Cyborg in front of her. They're putting the girls there. It's just up to the fighter to do it. Go ahead. What were you saying, Rob?
I was saying that for I think the past three. Nah, it hasn't been three. Past two Cyborg fights. You and I have been talking about it. Now we haven't done it on the show, but we've been talking about it, and you chose the other fighter both times,
I did.
and you were wrong twice. And now
But
you're saying she's still gonna lose.
look at who they put in front of Cyborg. Look at who
Yeah,
they put. They put Tanya Evinger should have been in the UFC before Ronda Rousey. Tanya Evinger been doing
yeah,
this
you're
for
not
a
wrong.
long.
You're not
You
wrong.
know, so and Tanya Evinger is a worthy opponent. I mean, Tanya Evinger's got she's got wins. And then she beats Tanya and goes in there with Holly. Holly's known for stopping the unstoppable. So why wouldn't you choose Holly Holm to beat Cyborg? Because
because
it
it'll
could have went either it could have went either way. And the way those judges scored, I don't think it was scored like that, man. I don't think it should have. I think Holly landed more punches than what the judges gave her credit for. She landed
well
more punches than what they gave her credit for, I think.
it's not about you can see what you see is not actually a landing punch because when you see somebody swing and like if they hit their ear or something, that's not an actual landing punch. They hit their shoulder, it's not a landing punch. That's not what that's not what striking is. You can't just throw fists
You
and
can't just throw fist.
hit anything and get credit for hitting somebody.
Holly threw a lot
Otherwise,
of punches. Holly threw a lot
otherwise,
of punches in that fight. She threw a
yes, she
lot,
did. She threw a lot of punches that missed.
and
They hit.
Holly's known.
They look like they hit, but
Yeah,
just because they hit the shoulder, they hit the hand, or they
no,
hit the top of her head or something, that ain't a hit.
no.
That ain't a
Holly was
punch.
landing. Holly was landing, but
Not as
does it
many as you
hurt?
think.
What hurt, Dan? Dan says, but does it hurt? What does what hurt? I have no idea what you're talking about. But now, may not point, but do they hurt? Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying, Dan. Like, you know, it may like a lot of Holly's known to be very like throw her punches kind of short and miss a lot of punches, like especially when she fought Misha Tate. Misha was very agile, and Misha dodged a lot of the punches. Uh, and she dodged a lot of the punches, and a lot of them were like grazing punches. But Misha still had a lot of redness on it. Misha didn't take a lot of damage from Holly, which was pretty surprising. But Misha still had marks on her face from those grazing punches. So that's what I'm saying. Like she touched Cyborg, she touched her in that fight, and toward the end of the fight when she rocked Cyborg, it was like whoa. I mean, it was a clean left hand. I think she caught Cyborg with a left hand and an elbow back to back. So she rocked Cyborg.
Yeah, but at that point the fight was already over.
Yeah,
Cyborg had
at
already
that point,
won.
yeah, at that point, the fight was pretty much, yes, Dano, I have been punched, and yes, it did hurt very much. I've been punched, yes. Um, but as far as Kunitskaya is concerned, I mean, okay, look at this. I mean, Kunitskaya has some worthy wins on her record. Let me switch my screen over real quick, guys, and let me take a look at the wins over to that. I mean, the wins that Yana Kunitskaya has, which this will further back up what I'm saying about her being a very worthy opponent. Let's see. So let's go back. There's her record right here. Let's go back on Yana Kunitskaya. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so she has wins over Cindy Dandua, and Cindy Dandua, Battle Cat holds a win over Megan Anderson, which that is huge in terms of this featherweight division. With her having a win over Cindy Dandua, because Cindy, we all know Cindy wants to fight Cyborg, this and that, but Yana has a win over Cindy Dandua, and it was a TKO due to punches. Okay, let's see. She has two battles with Tanya Evinger. She won the first battle via submission, but it was later overturned. So that didn't count. It was a controversial referee call that Tanya Evinger appealed, and it worked. And that was at Invicta FC 20 in
Yeah, we
2016.
talked about that.
Yes. And then she goes on to fight Tanya Evinger again and loses. But to me, that first one was, I mean, if you go back and watch that fight, yeah, it kind of was a bogus call from the ref because, the knee in the face thing, but she still won. She made Tanya Evinger tap. That's the point is that, Yana Kunitskaya made a ground specialist like Tanya Evinger tap. So, and then Tanya Evinger lost to Cyborg. Then she's coming off of a win against Raquel Palahui, whatever how you say her name. I can't remember how to say her name. And that was when she won the when Tanya Evinger vacated 135 belt in Invicta, there was a vacant belt. So Yana Kunitskaya won that belt, and so she's the current champion, bantamweight champion in Invicta. She's vacating her title to come and fight Cyborg. But let's see how many wins does she have? She's got one, two, three, four, five, six, seven on her professional record. She's got seven TKOs due to punches. So that lets me know right there she's got a unanimous decision win over Anna Melikova. She has a submission win over Tanya Evinger. She has an armbar submission. She has a decision win. So she's got a stacked record. So it's not like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like she's fighting a scrub. I mean, Yana is a worthy opponent, so that's the point I was trying to make. You know what I'm saying? Like Cyborg's not fighting slouches. Holly Holmes no slouch. Tanya Evanger's no slouch. Yana Kunitskaya is definitely not a slouch. Yana has a better record than Megan Anderson.
Man, you keep bringing up Megan Anderson, but all she do is stay running from Cyborg, bro.
I have to bring you have to bring up Megan Anderson because she signed to the UFC and she signed to the featherweight division. So eventually Megan Anderson is going to have to fight. She's going to have to fight
Eventually, when she
somebody.
stop hiding,
So what?
when she stop hiding, yeah, she'll fight somebody.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. She's going to have to fight somebody. But
She playing like Conor McGregor right now, not right now, but how he was after the Mayweather fight. He just
McGregor.
was gone. He just disappeared. He dodged everybody. That's what Megan Anderson's doing. She got the big contract and then she just disappears. And then when somebody does do something, she decides to come out of the hole
Woodward.
that she's been hiding in and say something like that nonsense she said before, like, "Oh, look, this happened," but really you had two opportunities to say yes and you said no.
Yeah,
Keep your mouth shut. That's
that's
what I
true.
say.
That's facts. Sports scrutiny brings facts, and that, my friend, is a fact. So that's kind of got me like, what I'm saying, teetering on the fence with Megan Anderson. Like I said, I love Megan Anderson. Everybody that knows me knows I love Megan Anderson, but she's running, and girls like Kunitskaya, Tanya Evinger, Leah Letson, and those girls are like, I'm not scared to fight Cyborg, even though they may not. Just because they say that, that doesn't mean they're ready. But um, they're ready to. They're willing to fight Cyborg. And Kunitskaya stepped up. I mean, it was, you had people calling Cyborg out. Cindy Dander was just, to me, she's not ready to fight, standing there and fight Chris Cyborg. Even though she has a win over Megan Anderson, I just don't think she's ready to step in there with somebody like Cyborg. Kunitskaya, she has decent striking. She's tough. She's a champion. So, Cyborg's fighting champions. She fought Tanya and Yana and former champion Holly Holm. So she's taking out the best of the best. It's just gonna take somebody to step up and hang in there with Cyborg. And next week, is it this week? Next week, I'm curious to see how this Kunitskaya fight plays out. I'm not saying Kunitskaya is going to win, but I'm curious to see how it's going to turn out. What strategy that we're going to see Kunitskaya attempt to put into action. So let's see. Start conventional. Do a leg sweep to a side cross. Scissors gouge lock. Flip them into a kneeling dog and finish with a sleeper. Dan, Dan, you need to be on the new athletic committee for the UFC. How about that? But
I think Cyborg's gonna come out with a W.
you always say that. You always say that.
When have I been wrong? Tell me.
You haven't been wrong about Cyborg, but you've been wrong about other stuff.
Who?
I can't remember. I got to go back and watch.
I ain't been wrong. Not yet. Not on sports scrutiny. I ain't been wrong.
Yeah,
When
you
we've been
have.
offline, I've been wrong. But
You've
that don't
been
matter.
wrong. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna pick a winner. I've learned not to pick a winner when it comes to Cyborg. Just watch the fight. That's all I can do. Just watch the fight.
I ain't. You
But
know, to be honest, all this talk about Cyborg, I ain't even worried about her no more. She ain't interesting. I want to see Thug Rose. That's what I've been worried. I've been thinking about that for a while.
Well, speaking of Thug Rose, do you think Thug Rose is going to pull off the rematch?
No,
You
no, I
think
think
Joanna's
she'll
coming
she,
back?
she gonna lose in 3 rounds.
Well, see, that's the thing, because you know, if you, like I said, last week when me and Jeremy were live last week, I said that if you go back and watch the Thug Rose and Joanna Young Jacek fight, Thug Rose was getting pieced up. You know what I'm saying? Like that first couple of flurries that was thrown between the two, Rose got pieced up. And Rose just loaded up this left hand and it landed perfectly and knocked Joanna down. But if you look at those first couple exchanges, Thug Rose was getting pieced up. So if when this rematch happens, Thug Rose is gonna have to do the same thing she did last time, because if she gets into a fist fight with Joanna Young Jacek, it's not gonna be good for Thug Rose. It's not gonna be good at all. Because I mean, Joanna Young Jacek is arguably the best striker in UFC history. So she's definitely
Female.
gonna have to do what she did last time, and try to avoid those flurries, because Joanna, she punches in bunches. It's not one two done. The WWE moves will submit sports scrutiny. Yeah, right, Dano. um but she's gonna have to avoid those flurries, because those flurries is where Joanna Young Jacek has a lot of success. And that leads me to the next fight I'm going to talk about, which is Jessica Andrade versus Tisha Torres. Now, we all know Jessica Andrade just recently had a title shot against Joanna Jędrzejczyk, and she lost miserably. 2 fights ago, she fought Joanna, and it was a slaughter, and it made Joanna made Jessica Andrade look like an amateur, and she's fighting Tisha Torres, the tiny tornado. Um, and I mean, now Jessica Andrade's record is stacked. Like when I say stacked, I mean stacked. She's got wins over. Let's see, because she's fought at 3 different divisions. She's fought at strawweight, she's fought at flyweight, she's fought at bantamweight. So she probably has one of the most versatile records um, in UFC history. In the UFC currently. I mean, she fought. Let's look up some names on her record. She has a lot. She lost to Liz Carmouche, which is understandable. Probably was outsized by Liz Carmouche. She has a win over Rocky Pennington. Rocky Pennington is possibly getting ready to challenge for the title against Amanda Nunes, coming off of a win over Misha Tate. Rocky Pennington she has a win over Rocky. She lost to Marion Renault, who's about to fight Sarah McMahon. She has a win over Jessica Penne, Joanne Calderwood, Angela Hill. She lost to Joanna Young Jacek, but she won against Claudia Gadelha. Now, Claudia Gadelha did a much better job against Joanna Young Jacek than Jessica Andrade did, but it just seemed like Jessica stepped her game way up when she jumped in the cage with Claudia Gadelha. I mean, she massacred Claudia Gadelha. So, and Claudia was like the only person who's really like gave well she was one of the best ones to give Joanna a run for her money, except besides Rose, I mean Muniz, of course. But she massacred she massacred Claudia Gadelha. So that's gonna be something. And she's, like I said, she's fighting Tisha Torres. um Tisha's blazing, like like she's like the talk of the strawweight division right now, because she's a worthy opponent. She's got wins. Let's see. Let's look at her record. She's got a win over Paige Van Zant, which probably wasn't hard. Rose Namajunas. She has a win over the champion. She has a win over Felice Herrig, who is a huge contender in that division. The bully, Angela Magana. She beat her. Angela Hill. She beat her. Jocelyn Jones Labarger. She beat her. She lost in a rematch to Rose Namajunas. She lost at UFC fight night when Glover Teixeira fought Evans. She lost that fight to Rose Namajunas. She comes back. She beats Beck Rawlins. She beats Juliana Lima, and she just massacred Michelle Waterson, who was another top contender in the strawweight division. So, I mean, if I had to choose, I'd choose, the Tiny Tornado to beat Jessica Andrade. But if Jessica comes in heavy-handed like she's been doing, especially like she did against Claudia Gadelia, then she will probably knock. She'll probably, if she wins, it'll probably be by knockout for Jessica Andrade. But the Tiny Tornado is blazing through the division, and you never know.
Yeah, I hear you.
She she also dates Raquel Pennington, which is pretty cool. So she's probably gonna beat up Jessica Andrade for beating up Rocky Pennington. But let's see. Also, yeah. Hey Rob, what else did I say I was talking about? I done forgot, man.
I'm just
Can you
reading
hear me?
about this fight. I'm just reading about this fight that happened on Sunday.
Which one?
Fight night 126.
Oh yeah, Fight Night 126. So Derek the Black Beast Lewis. Who did he fight? Are you looking at the card right now?
Nah, I'm just reading the review about it.
Derek
Fox Sports.
Lewis. Dude, Derek Lewis was getting his butt handed to him. It was crazy. It was the craziest thing I ever seen. Um, he was the dude. I can't remember who he fought, but he pretty
It
much
was
just laid on top of Derek Lewis.
yeah, face off against Marcin Tybura.
Tabura, Marcin Tabura. Yeah, that's who it was. He was winning the fight. These heavyweights maul each other. They get tired. You
Yeah, they
know,
get tired real easy.
they get tired quick. And it looked like Derek Lewis was faded, and he was faded. He was tired. I mean, when you have somebody that's 220 plus pounds, you know what I'm saying, laying on top of you, and you are 260 pounds, you know what I'm saying, like coming from one big guy to another, you're going to get tired pretty quick, and Derek Lewis, he scrambled, he got up, and he just knocked him out with a 1-2 piece. Just out. Just I'm out. I'm asleep. It was crazy. What
Yeah,
fight night? What fight night was that again?
fight night 126.
I forgot all about that. But yeah, man. So Derek Lewis is probably going to end up fighting Francis Ngannou next. Um, I don't know. Who do you? I
Man,
mean, what
if
do you think
if
about that?
man, I don't know that last fight with Francis. He gonna have to work on his endurance.
Man, that
He
was
he he ain't gonna make it in that division. I mean, he's almost like he enters fights to end them in the first round, and
yes.
it's like it's like Mike Tyson back in it.
Mm-hmm.
If you could survive Mike Tyson for 4 rounds, you were gonna basically you survive against Francis Ngannou for the first round and a half. You could your chances go from like 5% to like 90% of beating the
Yeah.
guy.
All you have to do is out. I have to do is outlast him, outmaneuver Francis Ngannou, and he'll tire. He'll tire pretty quick. Um, but and the thing about Derek Lewis is Derek Lewis has for a heavyweight, he has really good cardio, which was kind of surprising. He has really good cardio for somebody who's
Yeah, I would
uh
like to see him face off against Stipe.
he ain't ready for Stipe.
Yeah, but I would still like to see the fight
I like to see it too, but
because the matchup would be nice. I don't think it wouldn't be as one sided as you would think.
no, I don't think it'll be one sided. But I think Derek Lewis would give it everything he had. But it takes a
Not to
lot.
say not to say he would win. It would just the matchup would be nice.
Yeah, the matchup would be great. Oh yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to see him fight for a title. I like Derek Lewis. And it's always interesting to see what he says after the fights too, which is funny. But the rest of that card was some standouts from that card. Sage Northcutt came back at lightweight. He kind of bounced between welterweight and lightweight, and he lost all of his fights at welterweight. So I think he's kind of made the choice to stay at lightweight, Super Sage Northcutt. So, but he's back. He beat Tabak Gucci, which was a great performance. He got pieced up a little bit. It was a decision fight, but Sage Northcutt is back. And he's a huge prospect in the UFC. Young guy. I think he might be the youngest fighter in the UFC. 21 years old. Big guy. Sage Northcutt's a big guy, and he's got a lot of skill too. He kind of looks kind of like a generic person, like what's the word I'm looking for? He's just like he looks like a cartoon character. So a lot of people don't take him very seriously because he's kind of young and goofy. But Sage Northcutt put on a pretty impressive performance the other night against Tabal Goody, so he's good. Also, Thiago Alves was Curtis Millender, huge newcomer to the UFC. Like he's got a lot riding on him right now, and he beat legend Thiago Alves, which Thiago is kind of past his prime. He's one of those aging fighters who's getting older. He can't, his cardio's going down, so he beat Thiago Alves. Don't know what's next for someone like Thiago Alves. And he beat him with a knee. I mean, it was a vicious knee, vicious knee that ended that fight. Curtis Millender is probably going to work his way up the welterweight rankings. He's got a lot of tough people ahead of him, but I think he'll do pretty good. James Vick beat Francisco Trinaldo, which was a huge fight for James Vick in the lightweight division. So it could possibly push him up the rankings. I hope it does because he deserves it. James Vick he's one of the I think he's the biggest lightweight in that division. I mean, he's a huge man, huge, very long limbed guy. So I think that'll work for him in that
He's
division. So what?
a little bit built like John Jones.
Yeah. He's very long, very, very long. So I'm curious to see how he will match up with some of those lightweights that are a little bit smaller, kind of, um, how they would handle his size because he's tearing through the division as of right now. So you never know. Also, the main event, Donald Cerrone beats Yancy Medeiros. Donald Cerrone knocked him out. It was a TKO due to punches, but it seems like Donald Cerrone is finally back. I mean, I think he was sick of that being on a losing streak because he was on a 3-fight losing streak. So I think Cowboy's back. He beat a worthy opponent. Yancy Medeiros is a great guy. He's a tough guy. You know, um,
You see
so we'll just.
the weigh in for that?
What about it?
The weigh in for the main event?
Yeah,
The guy bought him a hat.
yeah.
They were all best friends and whatnot.
They're super cool with each other.
I ain't never seen that before.
Well, see, what I think with Cowboy is when Cowboy has animosity towards someone and he fights with anger, that's when he tends to mess up. Like against Darren Till. Darren Till talked a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? He's still talking shit. And Darren Till, I mean, I think Cowboy was in there trying to knock him out, and he just got outclassed by Darren Till, which I don't think Darren Till's a better fighter. I just think that Cowboy wasn't. I think he was fighting with his head, and not he was fighting out of anger. He wasn't being very technical. I mean, he stood straight up right there in front of Darren Till to get hit. He got hit. He got beat. I mean, and the fight was ended. So he was very strategical in this fight. He picked his shots very well, and he landed the bomb. And he landed, what he needed to land to end the fight, and it was a great performance by him. So I'm curious to see what Donald Cerrone is going to do next.
Yeah,
What you think he's going to do next?
I think he needs to get a new camp. What I think.
Who, Cerrone?
Yeah.
He just won.
No, but watching that fight just I don't know, something tells me that it was a fluke.
Right.
Like it wasn't like you were saying before. How he was fighting before seems more like him. I don't mean get a new camp because it didn't work for him. I just mean it's hard to teach somebody something that when they've learned another way. You know, it's like you can't teach an old dog new tricks
Like you
type
can't
thing.
like unteach him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
the way that he was fighting Sunday. I mean, it destroyed the guy. But like even goes back to the weigh-in. They were all buddy buddy and whatnot. Not everybody's gonna be like that. You know what I mean? Not everybody's gonna be your friend. Not everybody's gonna bring you gifts and laugh and shake hands and smile and be good. Like, wait, what if the guy? What if the next fight, dude hates him? Coming to the weigh-in and he angry at him, cussing at him, talking shit about his family and whatnot. How's he gonna react? He's gonna go back to the old ways that he was.
yeah,
You know
dude,
what I
just
mean?
standing straight up in front of people. You know, that was just the
Yeah.
biggest thing. Wait a minute, Rob. Hold on. Pause there. Dan says he can't beat the Black Panther. He said Cowboy can't beat the Black Panther. Dano, you are a trip, man. You are a trip. But yeah, man, he was just like, I mean, his last few fights, man, he was just like, to me, he was trying to get like a highlight reel. You know, I just think he was just trying to knock people out, and then they just kind of outclassed him. They outclassed the shit out of Donald Cerrone. You
Yeah,
know, but
exactly. That's what I mean. It's just like almost like a fluke, in my
yeah, yeah,
opinion.
yeah,
This last Sunday was almost like a fluke because it's like that's just not how he's been, and it's just the way that he's been the past like 3 or 4 fights, and then for this to come out and do this, it just doesn't match up,
yeah, yeah,
and it kind of goes back to the anger and like the viciousness of his past few fights, and then this one is he's a good guy and whatnot. And like it's almost like he went into the fight not worried about it. He
yeah,
went to
yeah,
the fight without like he held no grudges. Maybe that's what the problem is in the past. He holds too many grudges against people that he knows he's going to war with, which isn't a
yeah,
problem. A lot of people do that, but
yeah,
still,
yeah. But
one thing. It's one thing to do learn one way your whole life, and then something just changes. And even if it changes for the better,
right.
it's hard to learn that. It's hard to totally change everything about you into that good way. I mean,
Yeah, man. I agree. Yeah, I definitely agree. You know, and but he might be back though. I mean, he's Donald Cerrone is like rounding that corner. You know, he's rounding that corner to about the end. I think he'll make one last run, and try to get that belt. And I hope he gets it. You know, because that would be a great finish to somebody like Donald Cerrone's career. You know, like there'd be a great. I mean, and I think that if he did get the belt, I think he would retire with the belt because, like I said, he's rounding that corner to the latter part of his career. So, um, you know, I think he would probably, if he got the belt, he would retire because he's got a long road to the belt. I mean, coming off of 3 losses, he's got a long road to the belt. So I hope he, like I
yeah,
said, I hope he gets it. I hope he does it. You know, cowboy all day, man. You know, I'm down with that. Um, you know, maybe he can redeem some of those losses. I would like to see him fight Darren Till the way he just fought Medeiros the other night. I would love to see that because he needs that. Like somebody needs to shut Darren Till up. Darren Till's talking a lot of junk, and somebody's got to shut him up. You know, and I thought we were going to see Stephen Thompson versus Darren Till, which we still might see that. And I'm telling you, man, somebody like Stephen Thompson will shut Darren Till up, most definitely.
yeah. I mean, it's a matchup thing at that point.
Styles make matchups. That's exactly right.
You just gotta wait to see, to be honest,
Yeah,
because until that contract gets signed, I don't really like to get into the hype of a fight because there's no point. You just be wasting your time. You just be wasting your time because what if it never happens? And you just Oh yeah, so we talked about it for a little while, but no, it's not happening. What's the point? If they do say yes and they start talking, or they start training camp, then that's when at least that's when I'll get into the conversation. I'm gonna decide my own opinion who's got the advantage against who and what's in what situation.
Still think it'd be. I still think it would. I think Stephen Thompson would come out with the win um, over Darren. Darren Till to me is kind of like he's trying to be like Conor McGregor of the welterweight division and talk a lot of shit and get fights off of talking shit, but it failed miserably for him after the Donald Cerrone fight when he tried to call out Stephen Thompson. And Stephen Thompson's like, dude, look, like you're not even ranked. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not even in the top 10. So you beat Donald Cerrone, who's on a 2 fight losing streak. You know what I'm saying? So, he thought he had done. I can understand if he had beat him in his prime, but he beat him on a 2 fight losing streak. So Darren Till just needs to kind of chill out and beat the next person. Worry about the next person they're going to put in front of him. So, but my
You know,
predictions, my predictions are with Jessica Andrade and Tisha Torres. I predict Tisha Torres for the win. Just because I think the Tiny Tornado is gonna do exactly what her name is, be a tiny tornado, and she's gonna fight Jessica Andrade. Like she's really gonna fight Jessica Andrade. As far as Cyborg and Yana Kunitskaya, I mean, of course, the favorite's going to be Cyborg. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so bad. It's so bad to the point that when they advertise the fight, they maybe like one out of every four. Let's see, it's on TV right now. One out of every four commercials, you'll hear the name Yana Kunitskaya. But the other three commercials, it's all Cyborg is the most dangerous woman in the world. Yeah, but I mean, give Kunitskaya her credit. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, she's fought some worthy opponents. She's a worthy opponent. So that fight to me, just like the Holly Holm fight, that fight, I wouldn't be surprised if it went either way. I wouldn't be surprised if Cyborg won, and I wouldn't be surprised if Yana Kunitskaya won because it can go either way. You know,
I would be surprised if Cyborg lost.
I wouldn't be, and and then also, uh, my prediction for who Leah Letson's first fight in the UFC will be. Who you think will be Leah Letson's if she fights in the featherweight division? Who do you think? Do you think she'll get the winner of Kunitskaya Cyborg, or you think she'll get somebody like Megan Anderson or Cindy Dandowa? Cindy Dandowa was signed to the UFC.
Yeah, see, I was I
What
was thinking about that too because I just read about that.
about
But
Cindy Dandowa?
yeah, I was thinking
Yeah,
about that. But my thing is, I don't know. I would really like to see her fight Holly. That's what I would really
yeah,
like to
dude, that'd
see.
be, that'd be a good
I've
fight.
thought
Holly Holm.
I've thought about a lot of the chick. I don't think she should fight the either one of Cyborg or Yana.
Kunitskaya.
Yeah, I don't. No matter who wins, I don't think that she should fight either one of them next, at least, or at least first, not in first in UFC.
No,
I would
not
really like to
first.
see her
No,
fight Holly Holm for real. Like
it'd be a
it's
good one.
and it's not that she's outmatched by Yana or Cyborg. Like it's not like she's totally outmatched. It's just I don't think that that would be a good fight.
A good start off fight for Leah Letson. Like I want to see Leah Letson be successful. Like I want to see her on a title run. That's why I'm really hoping they sign, Ediane Gomez and all these other featherweights. I really hope they sign these girls because I would love to see Letson blow her way to the top. I really like Leah Letson. She's really, really a really good, genuine person. And I would like to see her blaze her way to the top. Now, like I said, her work's cut out for her. I mean, Megan Anderson, Cindy Dandowa, Holly Holm, Ayana
Yeah,
Queen
but
Scott. I mean, her
she
work's
ain't
cut
she
out
ain't
for
a,
her.
she ain't afraid of work. We see those videos
No,
that
she's
she
not
be
afraid
posting. She not afraid.
now. No,
I ain't,
she's
I
not
see.
afraid of it at all.
I ain't worried about the when it comes to Leah Letson. There's no worry when it comes to how rough the path might be towards the belt
Right.
because she gonna work for that. She gonna work
Yeah.
for it anyway.
That's the difference between that's the difference to me. That's the difference between Leah Letson and someone like Megan Anderson. Leah Letson doesn't pick and choose who she fights. You put somebody in front of Letson, she's ready to fight. Megan Anderson, on the other hand, I think maybe Megan Anderson's kind of picking and choosing who she fights.
Yeah, she's on. She. I think she almost I think she feels she's entitled
Yeah, because she
because
was the featherweight, because she was the Invicta champion. That
yeah,
might be right, man. That might be it.
I don't know.
Might be.
I don't want to see Leah Letson fight Megan Anderson because I feel like because Megan Anderson is irrelevant right now. As much as you like her and as much as the fan base that she does have support her and stuff, she's just irrelevant right now.
She let us down. Like, she let us down
She
twice. She let us
just
down twice.
she's not important right now when it comes to the spotlight of the women's fighting. Just
Well, I mean, in a way, she kind of is.
not necessarily.
When you
What's she been doing?
when you talk about the featherweight division, when you talk about the top featherweights in the world, I mean, Megan Anderson is one of the top featherweights in the
Okay,
world.
what has she done in UFC?
She
What's she
hasn't
done?
done anything in UFC.
Exactly. So she's irrelevant right now. She ain't done nothing but run.
I can't argue with you on that one, man. I can't. I
Done
mean, I
nothing
wish
but
I could.
run. That's
I
why
wish
I
I
don't
could
want to.
argue.
I don't want to see somebody like Leah sign a contract and then go in and fight somebody that done nothing. She's proved herself in something else. She's got skills.
I wish. I wish
She
I could
was the
argue with you
champion.
so bad. I wish
She
I could
was
argue.
she was the champion. She could do something. She did something. But signed the contract for the UFC. Was offered two big fights. Walked away from both of them. Now the first one, maybe I could give her an excuse. I think she might have been injured. She
She
got
called
injured.
her out. She called Cyborg out the first time.
No, but I'm pretty sure she got injured during her pre-contract training camp.
She never got
I,
injured.
I
She
think
never
she
got.
did.
She
Even if
she.
she did, even if she didn't, I give her the benefit of the doubt because I'm pretty sure that I remember reading that she said she was injured.
Mm,
So you got to give somebody the benefit of the doubt the first time, but the second time, there ain't nothing, ain't nothing you can give. You just ran from the fight. I don't care what you say. You ran from the fight. So I
and then
don't
on
want to
top,
see somebody like I don't want to see somebody like Leah Letson join
have
that,
to
get a contract, and then just
have to fight somebody.
fight
Have to fight
somebody.
somebody who ran. Yeah, I understand. I understand.
It's not gonna look good for her at the end.
Yeah, I
And then
understand.
it won't look good for Megan if she does win. Because
Yeah, because everybody's
you
gonna.
ran from big
Yep.
fights, but you
Mm-hmm.
beat somebody that's brand new. It's
Yep.
not gonna look good for either one of them. I
You're
want to
right,
see Leah Letson fight Holly Holm. That's what I want to see.
man. You keep saying that the right person might hear and make that fight, man. Yeah, man. Letson versus Home would be a good one. I mean, but Holly has a
Leah Letson knockout second round. Do it.
that was, and I was just getting ready to say, I was just getting ready to say, Holly has a chin made of glass. Like, I mean, Holly's taking hits, and just kept, she's taking clean, flush hits from Cyborg. Multiple times she took hits in that fight, and she just kept on rolling. So Holly is incredibly tough. When she fought Misha, when Misha choked her out, she didn't tap.
See, the
You know,
good thing about when she fought Misha Tate and Holly Holm, the best part of that happened was, and I'm not taking anything away from Misha Tate, but Misha Tate got the blueprint to beat Holly Holm because of the Holly Holm and Ronda Rousey fight.
yes.
Had it been reversed, if Holly Holm would have fought Misha Tate, Ronda Rousey
First,
probably would have beat her. Yeah.
you saying if Holly would have fought Misha first before she fought Rousey,
Yeah.
do you think Holly would have beat Misha if she'd have fought
Yes.
Misha?
Yes.
Because Misha wouldn't have known how to. I think so. I agree because I think if Holly would have been matched up against Misha first, Misha wouldn't have known how to fight Holly.
That's what I'm
You know?
saying. It's like
Yeah,
Ronda Rousey showed everybody at that point in time the
how to beat
blueprint to beat
Holly.
Holly Holm because Holly
Yep.
Holm was 11-0, and
Yeah.
people weren't figuring out how to beat this tough, tall, long, striking woman. And Ronda Rousey, everybody was like Ronda Rousey gonna do it. Ronda Rousey gonna do it. She didn't do it. Misha Tate saw that, saw the weaknesses and took advantage of it. Had it been reversed, Ronda Rousey would probably still be, well, probably not now, but she
No,
would have she would have been undefeated still. She would still have been the champion because I think because Ronda Rousey and Misha Tate, even though they were worlds apart in styles, they're like motivation and the determination to win were very similar.
yes,
Like the way that they approached the fight were very similar. The styles are way different,
yes.
and Ronda Rousey I think was just a better matchup when it came to those two. But that doesn't take anything away from Misha Tate because
I think Misha,
she's a phenomenal fighter.
when it comes to the way Misha fights, well, the way she used to fight, I think that Ronda Rousey's biggest weakness was her striking. Obviously, it was her
Yeah,
biggest weakness. The thing with Misha, I think Misha's weakness was her striking too, but Misha had found success in multiple fights from striking. Um,
she's almost too balanced in some situations. In some
yes,
matchups, like especially against Ronda Rousey, Misha Tate was too balanced. She almost needed to maybe not focus so much on the ground game and actually focus more on
right.
striking.
Yes,
But she never did that. She never did that. She was
because
way too balanced.
in both fights, if you go back and watch those the two fights with Ronda and Misha, when they were on their feet, Misha was getting all the success on the feet, and that's why I kept wondering like why, and Misha didn't learn from the first fight to keep standing up. But Misha, her thing is one thing that she lived by was that wrestling trumps judo, which was wrong. You
Yeah.
know, it was obviously wrong. Because she even in the first fight and the second fight, she even had Ronda in some pretty bad situations on the ground. But Ronda was just able to weasel out of it, because she was the bigger, stronger girl than Misha. But I think that if Misha would have just stuck to the feet against Ronda, she would have won. Same thing with Amanda Nunes. Misha, even though Misha's had a lot of success, like especially when she fought Jessica I. She knocked Jessica I down twice with overhand rights, and that was just completely uncommon for somebody like Misha Tate. And she landed those two bombs on Jessica I and knocked her off her feet twice. She had success in her stand up against Sarah McMahon. She had success in her stand up against Julie Kedzie back in Strike Force. Um, she had success in stand up against Kat Zingano when the title eliminator fight between her for the second fight against Ronda. And she could have. I think that if she would have taken Amanda Nunes down to begin with in that fight, she probably would have beat Amanda Nunes. But Misha tried to stand and trade with someone like Amanda Nunes, and that was the biggest mistake she ever made. Like Misha would test. Why are we talking about Misha? But anyways, Misha would test the waters with these strikers in some of her fights. Like when she lost to Raquel Pennington. Raquel Pennington is a striker, and Misha would test the waters with these strikers and try to get the takedown. But people kind of figured out what Misha done. Yeah, Misha will stand and trade, but then she's going to eventually go for the takedown. And that it didn't work for her with Amanda Nunes, and it didn't work for her with Raquel Pennington. So that was kind of the thing with Misha. I still kind of holding on to the hopes that we'll see a return grudge match against Ronda and Misha. That really would be nice to people would pay to see Ronda and Misha fight again.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. Not with that big
I don't think it's gonna happen.
WWE, not that big
Now.
WWE contract Ronda's got now.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think if we ever see them two again against each other, it'd be in WWE. I think Misha would, for the money, because she's not fighting right now. She just had a kid. She doesn't commentate that much. I think Misha would take a contract with WWE if it has something to do with Ronda Rousey, because all those fans from UFC are going to come over and see, even though they know it's fake, they're going to see what happens between Misha and Ronda, of course. Um,
They're gonna it's not so much that they're gonna see the fight or the
yeah,
wrestling match. It's they're gonna want to see
hotness.
the storyline that they put the two in.
Yeah, I mean, and who wouldn't want to? I mean, Misha's obviously hotter than Ronda Rousey, so who wouldn't want to see Misha in some hot clothes? You know, why not?
It is what it is. Everybody has their own opinion.
That's all I got, Rob. That's all I got, man.
Yeah, there ain't nothing else really going on. Baseball is starting, so that's gonna be exciting to get into the next couple weeks. I don't want you guys to forget that we do cover other sports. I mean, we do,
Yes.
me and BJ, or BJ and I, we're not too fond of the NBA, and it's not because we don't like basketball. It's because of the politics, I guess. Kind of me and BJ, we've kind of agreed that the politics of basketball has kind of driven our interest away from it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so it's like it's not fun to watch. But like when the playoffs come around, we'll be covering the
Yes.
playoffs because hey, the playoffs, that's always a good time. That's fun. Like when the March Madness hits, college basketball, I'll probably be covering that because I like March Madness. That's fun to watch. But baseball
Yeah, baseball's coming. Yeah,
when
baseball. We
that
hadn't talked
gets
about baseball since like the beginning of the show.
yeah
We
when that
started.
gets
We started the
when that
show at
gets
the tail
rolling
end.
yeah when that gets rolling, I'm gonna be covering the baseball and anything that happens big with the NFL, big trades and whatnot. We can cover some of that. But up until all that starts going on, we're gonna be covering MMA, UFC. We're gonna be covering all that. We're gonna bring you guys whatever we can, new stuff that's coming. We're gonna
Yeah,
scrutinize
guys.
all the nonsense that's going on in the world, in the sports world.
Well,
Try to avoid.
you guys make sure y'all follow us on our social media platforms, man.
Oh yeah, we got Twitter. I'm gonna put the links in the video. But we got the Twitter that's or the Twitter. Sound like an old man. We got Twitter. We got I loaded up the Instagram too. We haven't been keeping up with it though, but we're gonna start doing that. We've been covering some of the fights on our Facebook. If you guys don't follow us or
Make
like
sure you
our
follow.
page, go to
Oh
our Facebook because that Facebook is probably the best way to see when we're going
yeah.
live. Yeah,
Yep.
how active we are when we're going live. But we're gonna start covering Twitter as well. But whew, man, if you're watching this, make sure you hit that like button. Hit the
Yes.
like button, hit the subscribe, share the video
Yes.
if you can, if you want. Do it if you like it. Don't if you didn't like it. Um, I mean it is what it is. I ain't gonna try to
It is,
force you to do nothing. But life comes at you fast. Just make sure you hit that like button. Make
yes.
sure you hit that like
Yes.
button. It's not
Yeah.
hard. You can come back to the video if it takes you out of the video. It's the thumbs
Yeah.
up,
Well,
not the
we
thumbs
also
down.
we're gonna be covering the events coming up. UFC. You know, you got Frankie Edgar versus Brian Ortega, which that's gonna be huge. That's a huge pivotal fight. It was supposed to have been Max Holloway versus Frankie Edgar, but Max got hurt. Um, but you know, this is gonna make or break Brian Ortega. Like Brian Ortega has to. I mean, he's undefeated. If he wins this fight, he's in title contention. You know, and I feel like if he beats Frankie Edgar, he'll retire Frankie. Frankie was hoping this was his last fight against Max Holloway. But if Frankie wins, then that kind of puts Frankie in an interesting situation. Kind of want to see what he's going to do about that. So we're gonna keep up with that, guys. Keep up on our Facebook. We'll be sharing articles about that particular fight. We're gonna they did a special on Brian Ortega because he's a hot new prospect, you know. So they did a special. I'm gonna share that special to our Facebook and to our Twitter. So you guys make sure you go see that as well. Watch that. Catch up on some Brian Ortega submission special. Is one of the last ones in the UFC. Um, you know, his ground game is impeccable. I mean, he's got his guard is just sick. I mean, he's just a sick fighter. Period. So we'll be sharing some things about T City and just keep up with us, guys. You know, all the new subscribers, thank you for subscribing. We really do appreciate it. We're trying to keep everything current for you guys. We're trying to keep everything going. So once again, like and share us. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. So we'll catch
All
up
right.
with you guys next week.
Yes, sir. And Sports Scrutiny Live is